G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Gorge to watch two Conqueror 3 players fight it out. We've got a bit of an interesting matchup today. We've got the House of Lancaster and the Ottomans. Two civilizations I've been in love with at different times. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I go through my periods. I've loved many a civilization. I guess it's the type of play style that those certain civs bring. Anyway, let's introduce our players for today. Spawning in the south of the map in the color blue, playing as the Ottomans, it's Fachan. And in the north of the map, in the color green, playing as the House of Lancaster, the English variant, it's Gersonics. Welcome to a casted game, welcome to Gorge, and welcome to what's undoubtedly going to be a good video. I'm confident because these are two talented players, both Conqueror 3, both know exactly what is up. So hopefully we don't see too many mistakes today, and hopefully we get to see a good game. I want to see what do the umpires say, or the referees say? Like, keep your hands above. I'm not okay. Anyway, welcome. No cheese, all right? We don't want to see any cheese. Though I guess to be fair, with Fate, very often you do see cheese, don't you? You know, Age of Empires 4 doesn't really have cheese per se. Like, I think the closest to cheese we've ever seen. I remember there was a game, I think it was Faye as well, where she was just building like arches on the edge of the map. And it just wasn't scouted. Like, that was the closest to cheese. But, like, when it comes to cheese in RTS games, it's quite common in some others. But in Age of Empires 4, I guess, I will say right now, I do like the Age of Empires 4 community in the sense that we just acknowledge it and say, you know, yeah, you're harassing me in the Dark Age. We're not going to call that cheese. That's just a Dark Age attack. It's a Dark Age pressure. So military school coming down here early for Faye. No real surprise. We'll check in on the other side and see how Gersonics is doing. So a little bit about Gersonics, from what I could understand, from Poland. That is it. I hope I got that right. That would be terrible. Like, the one thing that I know about him, and it's wrong. Like, he's actually from Austria. That's like, I said he was from Poland. And, well, yeah, that would be terrible. Anyway, I don't think he actually streams on Twitch, so I was going to say check him out. Don't check him out. Maybe he could start streaming on Twitch. You're Conqueror 3, mate. I think that's pretty much well enough to start doing it. Anyway, age up starting to come through Lancaster Castle. Bit of an awkward position on this Lancaster Castle, but, I mean, where else are you going to be putting it? I would be thinking, like, maybe you could put it down over here on the stone. It could be a little bit more relevant, but I suspect it's probably just coming up to help defend against that inevitable spearman that will be coming through. We did see on the minimap just there, it is making its way across now for Faye. Her age up yet to come through, but about to be dropped down. Where does she go? Is it going to be the Twin Minaret Madrasa? Indeed, it's going to be the Twin Minaret Madrasa. Definitely, I feel like this is just kind of like your stock standard, your safe landmark today. And I'm curious to see which way she goes when it comes to the Vazier point system, because when it comes to the Vazier point system, there's so many options. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if she goes into extensive fortifications? I've kind of theorized about this. I feel like it could be decent, and I haven't seen any games where it's actually happened. So let's take a look and see at that Vazier point what it does. So it reduces the cost of town centers and defensive buildings by 20%, and equips your garrisoned units with crossbows, increasing damage by +1 and adding +2 bonus against heavy units. So that's an extra 3 damage against a men-at-arms potentially. So there's definitely a world where that could make a bit of sense, especially the fact that it reduces the cost of the town center. The only trouble is it comes in quite late. Like, if we look at that, if it was one of the first 3, I'd totally be like, hey, let's just rush extensive fortifications and make 12 town centers. Not really, but you get the idea. But it could be something that she looks to move into. Though you got to consider, like, what's the opportunity cost? Well, you go into that, and then you're missing out on that extra 1 military school. You're missing out on the potential of a Kinji, and this could be another option for her. So there's a lot of different ways that we can play it. But over on the other side, Gersonics has gone with a 412 age up. We've moved over onto stone. Quite a few villagers over here as well. 5 villagers on stone. So we'll be looking to add in those manners quickly here. We're at the 4-minute 20 mark. You can see, are we in influence? I don't think we're actually within the influence. Not that it really matters, but it's always nice to be within the influence of the Lancaster Castle, just so that you can guarantee you got a little bit more defense on your arrows, on your arrow slits. Meanwhile, towards the middle of the map, Faye now beginning to move out, not looking to do any harassment, obviously aware that the enemy is going to have their landmark and that it's likely to be that Lancaster Castle. Age up about to come through. Nice little timing here as well. 450, not a bad timing for the military school. We see villagers now moving over onto the wood line. Vazier point going to be coming through soon. Now, it'll be dependent on how she wants to play this out, whether she wants to slow play, whether she wants to go for that second TC. I'd suspect, judging by the fact she's got 400 gold in the bank, which is a lot, she's got professional scouts. That is very interesting. Professional scouts on the Ottomans. Now, do the Ottomans really have a reason to go professional scouts? Like, if we think about professional scouts, what does it bring you? Well, it brings you a whole lot of deer. It brings you safety. So, civilizations that benefit from that are civilizations that kind of want safety. They want that extra added benefit. So the Chinese, as an example, can put the mill down, bring the deer to it, and then you've got the imperial official underneath that can even drop off the tax as well. You're going to get that extra 20% food, so that's great. The Holy Roman Empire, they've got their Aachen Chapel, which is going to boost that gathering of the deer up even more. So there's a lot of good reasons why you might want it. But for the Ottomans, I don't really see the reason why I'd want to go for professional scouts. I don't see the vision. So I hope that Faye can show us that vision. Let's check in with the Vazier points. She'll be moving into one shortly. I'd suspect she probably goes, I don't even know where she goes. Any one of these could work. I feel like Anatolian Hill's less likely than the other two, just purely because you're already getting your food from your professional scouts. By the way, and we've also got Twin Minaret Madrasa. Is that the play, though? That she's gone into this so she doesn't have to make the mill? And now she's got the gold to get it, so professional scouts going to come through. Blacksmith as well. A little bit of a slow-paced game just to start us off with on the other side. Oh, Vazier point, Vazier point, Vazier point. Which way does she go? She goes into the sheep. Okay, so this is a very eco-focused build, because keep in mind that not only are you going into sheep here, you're also getting that bonus gather rate for mining speed. So if you've got, 20 vils on the mines, it's an extra, what does it work out to be, an extra 3 vils, somewhere in that region? Yeah, an extra 3 vils. So it does start to add up over the course of a game, and it can be important, but we've now got survival techniques on the way as well. Triple stable. Wow. Is she going for like a Sipahi all-in or something? It could definitely work, but you're up against Billmen, and they are powerful, especially once we talk about Imperial Age. But, we're only here in the Feudal Age, so let's keep it relevant for the moment. Riding back on board with the Gersonics. Now looking to add in the second round of manners. We can see that he's got a total of 5 out at the moment. We'll be looking to add in another one shortly. Could even potentially go in for that second set of upgrades and look to get the final 3. He's got plenty of gold in the bank. It's only going to be the wood that's capping him right now. The open field system about to come through. Beautiful macro from him as well. Let's have a look and see. Mana income. It is generating. And he's put down another mana. So he's gone for the 6 manas. There's a world where I actually feel like going for the upgrade before the mana makes more sense, just because then you can kind of have a bit more of like a steady flow of manas being dropped down. But we're happy. We're being chilling at this point in time. I feel like base building could definitely use a little bit of work from Gersonics. There doesn't really feel like a whole bunch of rhyme or rhythm here. Just kind of like you just plonked down the manas wherever. But I don't know. Maybe you see the vision. Is there even enough room right there to fit down the farm? I feel like there's not. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit more over the shop, but have a look at this. He's not even going into it. He's going straight in for the Demi-Lancers. Now it goes up to the 8 Demi-Lancers, looking to get out onto the map. Mana's nowhere to be seen with regard to the open field system, so he's not thinking about playing into the 9. Just going to stick with the 6 for the moment. Meanwhile, back on the south side, Faye just doing her work. Scout up towards the north, most likely has spotted out the incoming units from the enemy. Of course, the Demi-Lancers not particularly scary. Second town center also in the back here for Faye. So looking to really focus on collecting as much food as she can. Nice little job there. Dropping down the deer, pulling it back. So the scout is going to be able to survive another day. Second one also comes through. It's a little bit more finicky. It means that you've got to go back and pick up the venison. But as long as the scout's alive, you'll be able to thrive. So Faye really going all in on this economy. So the second TC in particular is going to allow her to scale into that mid game. Compared to Gersonics, who has done pretty well to get to where he is at this stage, but I suspect will probably be looking to move into Castle Age shortly. We do see production coming down as well. Quite a few villages still here on wood. So one thing to note that perhaps units could be a consideration, but that's quite a bit of villages on wood, the 12 vills on wood at this stage of the game. I'm curious exactly what his plan is with that. Still got quite a few sheep back here, so shouldn't have to worry too much about getting the farms online at this stage. Scout going to be kept with the Demi-Lancers, and we see the Sipahi going to be forced back away. Double broad axe on the way. Wheelbarrow on the way for Gasonics. So both players looking to keep those upgrades. Now we see the meta coming out as well from Faye. Not going to be the meta drums. By the way, I love that that got added. That was a couple months ago that got added, and it just feels so good to be able to know exactly where we're at with regard to Vazier points. King's College now going to be thrown down in the front of the base of all places. It's kind of weird because I feel like the metas should be in the front, but I don't know. I'm an ex-Dutch player from Age of Empires 3. That's where we always put our banks. Our banks are basically what this building is, the manor. But now, Demi-Lancers able to force this away for the moment. Faye potentially thinking about aging up herself. Keep in mind she's got that second TC, so she's going to be spending a little bit more resources on her economy, but she is starting to build up that villager lead. Keep in mind that while she's got the villager lead, the economic lead is still in the favor of Gasonics at this stage of the game. Though Professional Scouts is on the board, there's a lot of factors at play. We'll say that much. A lot of factors at play here, and it's not as easy as just saying, well, bigger number equals bigger economy. There's so many other considerations to make, especially Professional Scouts. I think that's going to be one of the biggest ones. You can see 7 deer. 7 deer. So Faye even yet to consider securing the deer of the opponent at this stage, just intending on securing her own. Spears now going to make their way up as well. Next Vazier point going to be coming through shortly as the Sipahi push back those Demi-Lancer. A couple spears mixed in. Billman upgrade is through, so we'll be reducing the enemy armor as they continue attacking. You can see just how much damage they're able to do. And now the age up comes through. Beautiful timing. The Demi-Lancers could look to turn around, but not going to be doing it. Wants to try and salvage the position. Definitely the right call here. Things were not going well. Upgrades on the way as well. Open field system, shaft mining, and bloomery coming through quickly for Gasonics. A competitive age up here of before 12 minutes. Not too bad at all, and a third TC for Faye. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in going into extensive fortifications here, especially considering you've already put down the TC. This is part of the reason why it's kind of hard to justify this, because you do want to get your TCs down before this actually comes through. I'm curious to see whether or not she actually goes into it or not, because I feel like there's a part of me that could still justify it. We'll wait and see what the play is going to be. I suspect it's probably just going to be the +1 military school, though. I'm getting a little bit too excited here. Age up on the way. MIA getting dropped down safely next to the TC. Beautiful base building from Faye. Absolutely no critique whatsoever. Secondary town centers towards the back of the base as well. We now see these deer to the south almost completely getting cleaned up here. So an interesting decision from Faye to go into Professional Scouts, but definitely it seems like it's starting to pay off here. She's got a lot of deer on the board. The Vazier point, still yet to spend it. She did it. She did it. She did it. Extensive fortifications. All right, we're in. We're in for it. She's got 3 TCs at this point. Now, keep in mind, that's going to reduce the cost of all future TCs. We're selecting Gasonics. That's why the cost isn't reducing. 320 and 280. So down to a 600 cost from that high of 750. So definitely not too bad. Keep in mind, that's also going to reduce the cost of your fortifications. So your outpost down to 80, your keep down to 720. I don't think it changes the cost of the mosque. No, it doesn't. Now, I wonder whether or not that affects the emplacements as well. It does say specifically that it equips garrisons with crossbows, and it says it reduces the cost of the defensive buildings, but it doesn't say anything about emplacements. So my suspicion is that it probably doesn't, because if it did, it would say that. Though you can never, you never be sure until you actually confirm it. Spears now moving to the middle of the map. We do see some upgrades on the way. The Shire Levy going to be coming through. Just a couple of yeomen looking to join the party. Keep in mind, the yeomen, it's not really basically you're just kind of skipping these units, skipping the production. It's a whole bunch of units for about the same price that you'd actually pay if you had all of these units in the first place and you just built them from archery ranges. It's just that it's kind of like a unit shipment that you got from Age of Empires 3. You've just shipped 17 from the home city. Indeed, quite a few of them now. Lumber preservation on the way as well for Faye. So big eco coming in behind it. And spring on emplacements coming through. I think that's the standard cost. Looks like she's getting caught out. The Billman doing a good job of preventing these Sipahi from engaging. The Wallalol towards the north. One relic already through for Gasonics. It's going to be the second one on the way. She should be able to come in and pick this off, but you can see the beautiful positioning from the Billman going to be able to prevent, for the moment, the Sipahi from doing any real damage. Meanwhile, towards the top side, the damage from the Sipahi has changed its course. Now going to be attempting to take out all of these villages up here, but Gasonics is on it, aware of it. And you can see that Faye's just come through and look to try and melt this backline, doing a wonderful job of just picking off all of these archers. The yeomen going down, and now up towards the top of the hill, the villagers have returned to the gold vein, and the Sipahi have gone down. Villager count, have a look at this, 68 versus 45. Now, where is Faye getting all these units from? Well, she's getting all these units from her military schools. So very bare bones build at this stage. She went 3 stables. She's got a whole bunch of Sipahi in queue now. But before then, what was she really doing with it? I guess not a whole lot. All right, towards that middle though. Gasonics with a lot of units. You know what I'd love to see from Gasonics right here? Age up to Imperial and just start spamming Billman like crazy. That's pretty much it. There's, you know, go Wingard, spam spears. That's pretty much it. That's how we're picturing a game victory. And you can see that crossbow attack coming through from... No, sorry, that's the springald emplacement. I thought it was the crossbow from the emplacement. I got real excited. I'm like, yeah, baby, crossbow. But no, it was a springald. Can you imagine if extensive fortifications gave you springalds? She's doing it. She's doing the combo. Pax Ottomana. The strength of the Empire enables a time of prosperity. Villagers train 75% faster for 4 minutes. She's popped it. She is going absolutely ham with the vills. You can see right now, she's triple TC. This is it. The new Ottoman Rage that is coming out. We are witnessing it right here. You know, we talked earlier about the potential. Oh my God. She's on the equivalent of 6 town centers right now. She can't even keep up. Look at her food. Oh, I mean, she's doing all right with the food. She's at 1,500 food a minute. She's just got to start queuing up more villagers. That's the trouble, right? They train so quickly. This is faster than Song Dynasty at its peak. This is faster than the Holy Roman Empire Palace of Swabia. That's how fast we're talking right now. Faster than Swabia. So she didn't really use the cheap cost of the buildings, but they are technically cheaper. So we'll give it to her, the extensive fortifications. And then she's gone into the 3 TCs and now spamming out villagers, each one taking only 11 seconds. A normal villager takes 20 seconds to build. So effectively, it's not double, but it's pretty much double, or rather half, the time that it takes to create villagers. So now we can see that villager count has gone absolutely crazy. Faye is going to the moon 17 minutes into this game, and she's almost at 90 villagers. Continuing to defend with the free units. This is the way the Ottomans are meant to be played. Look at this. Springald's also getting built. Still just spamming Sipahi. Also got a meta in the queue as well. Meanwhile, what are we doing with our military schools? We're just making more Sipahi. I'm absolutely in love with this. Is she just going to go full Sipahi in this game with like Springalds to take out the spears? Because if she is, that is absolutely a Giga Chad play. Think about it. It's so smart. The only trouble that you're going to have is food. Food and she's already thought about it. She went professional scouts. She went into the Twin Minaret Madrasa. Sorry, I lost Twin Minaret Madrasa in my head for a second there. She's thought about all of it. Upgrades still coming through though on the way. The military training or tactics training coming through. So you're going to be getting that bonus damage on your spearmen. They go from 23 damage up versus cavalry to, how much do they go? I think it's like 25 or something like that. Upgrade should be through now. 28, there you go. So it's an extra 5 damage against Cav, which really starts to add up, especially if you're fighting against Knights, because now all of a sudden you're doing a lot more damage through their armor. But we don't see a whole lot of Knights out today. Faye going to continue on the attack, and look at the military numbers. Indeed, it is just Sipahi together with the Springalds, and she's got this nice little pocket. Can I just compliment her on the control that she's got right now? Knows exactly what her win condition is. Isn't pushing out when she thinks she might have a numbers advantage. Just as I say that, she begins to move them to the front. But like, this is where the Springald should be. This is the Springald's natural habitat here, especially when you got triple town center that is pumping out Pax Ottomana villagers. They are going crazy right now. Meanwhile, towards the top, we got a boar. Doesn't look like any vills were taken down. No villagers were harmed in the making of this meal, we can be told. But I think she's really just looking to try and spam, and we've seen her do this before, where she'll just spam one unit and she'll just utilize it as much as she can and try and exploit it. And I think if there's one way that you can play around the Sipahi, it's just constant raiding. The trouble is you're up against an opponent, a civilization, the House of Lancaster, that excels in defense. So I really feel like at this stage of the game, throwing down the keep is the right call, going Imperial behind this is the right call, even potentially getting stone walls. When you see this much cavalry out, just getting some stone walls in can be really helpful, especially when we consider the gold vein down towards the south. Like, you could just look to stone wall up here in between all of these nice little wood lines. You're going to be absolutely safe. You can keep your army focused in one area. You can even bring it back over here while it defends. We take a look towards that front, though. A huge army is pushing out. I feel like this is a mistake. We should be waiting till Imp until we push, because now, back on the other side, you can see that Faye's going to pull back this army because all of the Sipahi are in the base of the opponent. And so the opponent has to bring the army back. Meanwhile, how's Faye doing? Well, the villagers are back to 20 seconds apiece. We'll double check that. Yeah, 20 seconds apiece. And she's built up a casual 60 villager lead in that region. Yeah, 60 villagers. 50 villagers, somewhere around there. It's a good amount of villagers, we'll say that much. And now she's looking to siege down the manors. So it's going to start building even longer. How many villagers extras does that work out to be, right? If we assume every villager just became a double villager, and she had 3 villagers, and it lasts 3 villagers per cycle, and it lasts for 4 minutes. Each town center in a minute makes 3. So 4 minutes means 12 villagers over the period. So an extra 12 villagers. So a total of 24 villagers per town center for that 4 minutes. Which means Faye got an extra 36 villagers out of this combo that she pulls out. Plus 36 villagers just by doing that. And keep in mind, it's a really short spurt of time. So the payoff is a lot higher because you have to invest all these resources into your town centers. But at the same time, the villagers are coming out much sooner, which means that they can pay themselves off, which means that the town center pays off much faster. By the way, amazing trades right here for Faye. Even though she's in the base, even though she's going to be losing the Sipahi, she's just killing all the enemy yeomen, which is incredible. And now we see some more manors coming down towards the front here. These manors, keep in mind, they were burned. They were sieged down over here, and we now have the Wingard Palace. I think that was actually dropped down within the view of Faye. Yeah, I don't know if she saw it, but it looked like it was going to be dropped down. So keep in mind behind this, Faye is just absolutely spamming out units still. More Sipahi coming through. Vill count, 53 versus 120. Now, there's only been 12 Vills that have been taken out this game, so it's not a huge amount, but the trouble you're going to have is Faye is leveraging that economy that she has built to continue spamming out units, which means she's going to go back straight to the drawing board, well, not to the drawing board, but straight to the attack board here, and look to infiltrate enemy defenses once again. Look to try and find those villagers. Keep in mind, 5 relics did end up going over to Gersonics, so you're not going to be able to raid those. You're not going to be able to raid the manors. You're not going to be able to raid things that can't, well, I mean, you can kill them, but you can't raid them. You know, often we're thinking about villagers. The great thing about the manors is even if you siege them, you just rebuild them instantly, and you've lost barely any resources. The only resources you really lose are the resources from the actual manor itself being killed. So other than that, you're not really losing that much. Wolf up here. We got trade. Is she doing trade bags? Have we got trade bags coming in? We don't have trade bags just yet. How many more Vazier points does she have? I think she's got the 1 more Vazier point to go. This is going to be our last Vazier point that's coming in. If I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, they may, did they change it? Let's double check the Vazier system. Earn up to 5 Vazier points. Yeah, okay, we got it right. I just remember they overhauled it, and it's been a while since I've mained the Ottomans. Sipahi getting thrown away here. These Billmen are going to absolutely destroy through all these Sipahi here. A lot of ranged armor, not a whole lot of melee armor. And Faye now going to be backing out. Look at this keep. I didn't think there was a world where Faye would do something like this. But I clearly misjudged Faye. To me, this just felt like it was a natural... the enemy would never suspect that you would just put a keep down there and just start taking their resources. Like, it's my side. You're not going to take it. But it gets taken. Tithe barns on the way. We also see coinage or scootage coming through. And behind this, we got ourselves a little bit of Earl's retinue. Actually, it's not Earl's retinue. It's Wingard army. Really? I feel like Wingard army is so much worse than the garrison command. The garrison command is where it's at. I wonder when that's going to be nerfed. Do you think it should be nerfed? Maybe it shouldn't be. Last Vazier point has come through. Where does she go? I wouldn't be surprised with this early trade right here if she goes into trade bags. But I would say right now it's probably better to go into something else. She's going into Advanced Academy, which is an interesting decision considering you do have Siege Crews and the Great... Oh, you wouldn't go the Great Bombard. I guess that's probably about the best thing that you'd go for. I think Siege Crews is pretty decent if you want to go for it. Other than that, though, like, I don't think you really mind what these are on. Right? Like, you don't care that much whether they're on Janissaries, whether they're on Lancers, whether they're on Sipahi. I mean, maybe you do. If I remember correctly, it's also a little bit of a higher rate of return, but like the rate that it's building, you've only got a handful of them. Anyway, 135 Vills. I feel like we probably could have leveraged that last point a bit better. Istanbul Observatory now going to be coming up as well. Beautiful little timing on this. 24 minutes into the game. And at this stage, I mean, she's kept all of the Springalds. just chilling out. So she's going to look for Springald upgrades, we can suspect. So probably going to have to drop down the Siege Workshop. I don't think she's got one. There it is, the Siege Workshop coming down. She's going to need to look into roller shutter triggers, very important. She's also picking up other siege upgrades. Greased axles, wait. So she's got it somewhere. She's got a first. I'm just blind. There's a Siege Workshop somewhere. It's looking at me, staring at me. It's not here. Where are you researching siege greased axles from? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. It's a bit hard. It kind of blends in like a stable. You just don't see it. So roller shutter triggers and greased axles coming in. So she could be thinking about changing it up, or she could be thinking about doubling it down. I tell you what, one of the things I love about watching Faye is she doesn't always play it by the meta. It's quite often that she will, but not always. And sometimes we get to see glimpses inside the mind of the developer. Now, Faye's not a developer, but she knows exactly what the developers were thinking when they added these to the game, when they changed these up and said, hey, we're adding this. And everybody looked at that and go, meh. And Faye said, well, actually, I reckon there could be a chance. And indeed, she looks for it today. Keep in mind, this is an evenly matched game. Both players Conqueror 3 in the same realm. Couple knights towards the backside, going to be able to break through. No vill kills just yet this game, and that's the first one. Gersonix is on the board with a villager kill. Springald's now going to be exposed, and immediately Gersonix says, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's a lot of Springalds. How are we going to deal with that? That's a good question, Gersonix. Probably thinking maybe you could go into Culprit. Maybe you could look to get a bombard or two out. That'll help deal with it pretty quickly. That's the main goal. You just want to try and take them out. Keep in mind, they've got quite a range on them as well here. The Springald at the moment, what does it say? 7.5 tiles of range. I feel like it should be slightly more than that with the upgrade. We can't even see it right now, but it's still decent. Elite Sipahi beginning to move forward. +3 also coming through. Picking units off at the back. Was that a villager delete that we just heard from Faye? There was a delete from something. Have a look how even these scores are, by the way. Less than 100 between them right now as we enter the 28th minute into the game shortly. It's the 28th minute, right? Because the first minute is 0-0. So that's the first minute. The second minute is 0-1. So now we're in the 28th minute. There you go. One of the little details that you get with a guy like me. Keep in mind, we're still keeping ourselves alive over here. Great bombard emplacement also going to be coming through. Keeps are cheaper. And now Sipahi together with the Springalds moving forward. Gersonix, his economy was not scaling. A single town center for the entirety of the game. Lost 16 villages quite early on. And now units pushing through. Keep in mind this combo is particularly deadly because the Sipahi able to take out the ranged units, able to defend relatively well against Cav just because of their extra long range to attack. And the Springalds, of course, particularly good against melee infantry. Sipahi down towards the south now. Should be able to clean this up without too much of a hassle. Units, in the end, able to surround the keep, but we are attacking on multiple fronts, or being attacked on multiple fronts. Springal's just kind of idle. Okay, they've been fixed up. She's got it. She's got it. 117 vills now. Gersonix really struggling to get that vill count any higher. We've seen him just kind of sitting around this number, hovering around this number. Keep now going to be coming down as well. And that's 7k gold. I tell you what, that is incredibly important to re-establish control of this for Gersonix. Not that he ever had control, but like to deny the control away from Faye. Golden Treb. Look at that beautiful upgrade that we see coming through on that counterweight trebuchet. It looks so good, man. Can I just say right now, you know, we talked a little bit about Age of Empires 5 in a recent video, but like for me, one of the big things I want, bro, please just give me cosmetics. Look how cool this trebuchet looks. It looks so much better than the standard trebuchet. I would happily pay $3.99 for this. This is a good looking trebuchet. Imagine if like you could get different levels of trebs or like different cosmetics. You remember that one I was telling you about? There was a guy, Overbait, on Reddit. Oh my god, he does the most beautiful mock-ups for cosmetics. Please, Age of Empires 5. Do it right, okay? If you're gonna do it right, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do it free to play. You're gonna make all the civs in multiplayer free, and you're going to make people pay for the campaign. If they want to play single player, they can do it in skirmish. But if they want to play the campaign, they're going to have to pay for it. Okay, that's the way we do it. That's the way that we monetize. And then on top of that, we have cosmetics. Cosmetics, yes, cosmetics. Just like all those other big games. If you want to see Age of Empires become mainstream, if you want to have those huge tournaments the way League of Legends does, I mean, it's going to be hard, you know, getting up that big. But I feel like you've got to take a leaf out of their book, a page out of their book, a leaf out of their tree, something like that. And you've got to look to try and get these really cool customizations that are in. So this has come through because of an upgrade that was available, unique to the King's College, that allows you to upgrade your trebuchet, and it gives them this look. Like, if you look at, say, your Springles, you won't notice any real difference when they get the roller shutter trigger upgrade. Perhaps, maybe you do. But, you know, the point is that they should not be oppressive, the cosmetics. They should not be overwhelming, but they should be there. They should be noticeable. They should be, you know, you load into a game and you see a guy's villages and you're like, damn, bro's got the diamond pickaxe. That's sick. Bro's balling out of control, right? Like, that's cool. People like that. And that gives it the attachment. It's kind of like that whole IKEA theory of like building your own furniture makes you more attached than the furniture you just purchased. It's a weird thing. Anyway, there you go. That's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming. Sipahi now beginning to move. I'm curious how you feel about it, though, because I know that people feel differently. I know some people hate free-to-play. But the reality is you just open it up to so much more. The viewership numbers is really what drives it all. Viewership drives the sponsors. Sponsors drive the tournaments. Tournaments, it's a feedback loop. And once you start getting those, I feel like the free-to-play is where it's at. Anyway, look, we'll see. I'm not even kidding you, dude. I remember when Age of Empires Online came out after Age of Empires 3, and I literally gave the exact same feedback. I'm like, bro, you just got to do exactly this. And they did it, but they did it way too late. And they made them way too expensive. No, they charged you for the civs. It was like 40 bucks, I remember. You had to pay $40 for a civilization. It was insane, dude. Anyway, they listened way too late. Game flopped. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That was back. That was so long ago. That was right before I was going on deployment. I remember it. It must have been 2010 or something around that time frame. Anyway, Faye is having an absolute field day in here. She is just keeping down the... Dude, look at the Vil count. Look at the Vil count. She is really just hunting at this point. Though, to be fair, I feel like a second town center needed to be added from Gersonics probably like 15 minutes ago. And he needed to train villagers more often. You can see that one's only just come in queue recently. Also, the distinct lack of walls, right? Like, if you see your enemy is going cav, you need to be thinking about walls. That needs to be palisades. That need to be stone. At the very least, like, you want a stone here. Stone here. So now that cuts you out to over here. You could look to stone across there. You could even like bring it across if you wanted to just go stone down this way, but you need to do it. And the reason why we do that is because now all of a sudden you can't be attacked quickly through that area by the Sipahi. You can't be broken through like you have been multiple times. Now we finally see that stone wall coming through. Wonderful. Exactly what we need. The only trouble is, this is where you want your army to be, because this is where the gold is. So ideally, what I would love to see from Gersonics are stone walls here across, so that he can kind of forget about this flank. He doesn't have to remember, oh, I've got a flank out here. The trouble is, you've got all of these buildings right here, and they're just going to be right for the taking. You're always going to have this opening here. I mean, you could delete these two and then build the stone wall out the front. Oof. You hear that sound? Dude, it kind of sounded like the sound from Among Us, like, you know the Among Us sound when someone's been killed. I don't know if it's when someone's been killed. It's just the Among Us meme sound. Google it. It sounded like that when the Great Bombards came in. Sipahi numbers looking really good though. 61 at the moment. That's definitely not 61 on the field. Reboldaquins are out. Colvin going to be giving him a tap on the back as well. And now turning around, those Great Bombards are. I feel like at this point, Faye should do exactly what she's doing right now. Look to try and turn it around so the spears have to go and chase the Sipahi so the Bombards can get out. It's exactly how she should do it. Very well done there. More Sipahi over towards the east. Oh, boy. Now, if there's one saving grace here for Gersonics, it's the fact that he's got access to the garrison command. That's it. All he should be doing right now is spamming garrison command, spamming stone walls, and spamming town centers, and looking to rebuild. Because at the moment, right, like, if we look at this count... This is not a game-winning count. The only way that you win... Actually, is there a world where he goes critical mass with spears and just wins? Probably not. Oh, actually, yeah, you could. Okay, hear me out. What if Gersonics just made only garrison command spears for the rest of the game? Like, literally all he did was just that. Think about it. how would you counter that as Faye? Like, okay, obviously there's the guy in the back who's like, just build archers. It's like, yep, okay, good call, brother. But we're talking about like, you know, 150 spears. Is there a world where Gersonic just goes 150 spears? He's building up. He is building up right now. Are we still training? We're not training. Garrison command. Get it out. It's so cheap, man. It's so cheap. These units are basically free at this point. They're not free, but you know, you still got to pay out a little bit. Nice. Nice. It's perfect. It's perfect. Honestly, it's better than nothing. If you don't have the stone, it's absolutely better than nothing. Now, speaking of nothing, have a look at this, because we got something down here. Keep in mind the sacred site is behind this. Traders coming across the map, doing 82. Not too bad. And more villas just getting taken out. Poor Gersonics, dude. Down to 32 villagers at this point. Like, is this where you just... Do you just go all in and go off critical mass? Because you got to remember, Faye's sitting at 200 units, okay? 200 population. A lot of that is villages, 135. So one of the advantages that you have is you have more population space available for military units because all of your villagers keep dying. So as long as you've got enough economy to enough economy to get those unit numbers up, you could be okay here. Now, we can see Wingard Army. Stop making Wingard Army. You don't want Wingard Army, my friend. All of your trebs are just going to get destroyed. Why are we not making Garrison Command? Oi. It's a lot of wasted resources. It's a lot of wasted resources. You know, I was talking earlier about, you know, we won't see many mistakes, so we hope that we won't see many mistakes. I don't know if it's necessarily mistakes. Like, don't get me wrong, we need the trebs. It's just we don't need them right now. We want to try and build up our numbers as much as we can. We just want to spam out those spearmen, try and hit that critical mass, and then hopefully we can push the enemy, eliminate their army, surround their siege, kill it, and then keep them on the back foot. And then all Faye's going to be doing is trying to rally in units into your army, and then hopefully you're just killing them quickly. And then if she decides I'm going to rebuild my army over here, and then you want to go look for that army. You want to stop her from rebuilding that army because you got the spears, you got the good counter. Now, of course, she could just drop down 1 million archery ranges and get the archers out quickly. But if there's one thing I know about Faye, she always commits to the bit. She will... You could make a million spearmen and she'd still be like, I just need 2 million Sipahi. That's the one key with Faye. Up towards the top, we do have that second TC that's going down. A single villager putting it down. Meanwhile, Sipahi do get surrounded here. Faye, despite seeing all these spears, is still like, I don't care. I'm just going to make Sipahi. That's what I respect about her. But we do have a problem. Reboldaquin are coming out. Now, how do you deal with Reboldaquin if you've got spearmen? And the answer is you don't. You don't. Especially not for Reboldaquin. So you're going to need an answer to that. That needs to be bombards. Ideally, it needs to be bombards. It needs to be something. It needs to be something with gunpowder. That's really the only way that you can do it. I guess technically you could try like crossbows or something like that, but to me it just makes more sense that you have that bit of range, especially with spears. You could actually get quite a nice army going. And speaking of army, have a look at these numbers. You got double the military pop right now for Gersonics. The trouble is, Faye's just going to split him wide open. Goes straight down the middle here with the Sipahi. She's looking for a way through. Got a lot of production back here as well. We'll check in. Yeah, you can see just the amount of production she's got here. Spamming it out, ready to go. Huge income for her as well. I'm not even going to bother counting. You're sitting at more than 6K right there compared to her opponent, barely scratching the surface of 3K. Probably about closer to 2.5, so more than double. Look at the military. Oh, the economy number, 19 bills versus 136. She's going to try and defend this right now as Gersonics looks to surround at the back. The Knights have done a decent job of coming through. Still no, where are the Reboldaquins? The Reboldaquins aren't on the field yet. And Gersonics is taking good trades at the front. As long as units continue to rally through, Gersonics keep making units. Rally the Garrison Command towards the 4. There we go. Garrison Command number 1 coming out. Let's do it. More. Gersonics, go! Go, Gersonics. You can do it. She's going to commit to the bit. She can't make units other than Sipahi, I'm telling you. All you got to do right now is just run it down mid. You can do it, brother. Oh, no. Great bombarding placement. It's not through yet. 35 seconds. How do you deal with the keep? You need trebuchets. Oh, why weren't you making trebs? Oh, you were making trebs. Good to see. Where have the spears gone? Boiling oil? Maybe that's where they've gone. Reboldaquin's now reaching the front. Great bombard slowly working down the troops. And now the Sipahi baited down to the south. Spear's going to be able to get some good chops on here. Crossbows are also coming out from that army, from the Wingard. Yeoman on the back. Couple traders getting caught in the fray, but you can see with 32 Sipahi in queue, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if you've got a big, strong mass like that, you're never going to reach critical mass against an economy like this. Unless you've got 600 units and you're playing FFA, in which case, yeah, you probably would. But even then, I reckon she could wear you down. It's a pretty damn strong economy. Great bombard emplacement comes in, says goodnight, sweet prince. And now Faye is poised to take this game absolutely, undoubtedly at this point. 23 villagers. It's not a whole lot, but I love the fact Gersonics never gives up, never surrenders. Not until he knows it's over, when the Reboldaquins are perhaps knocking on his door, when his great bombards are, well, moving through his window, then maybe he will do it. Look at those beautiful traps. Just that little bit of that gold tinge on them. Unfortunately, it's not enough to keep them alive, as the Reboldaquins now able to take out all this infantry on the front. You can see they pause for so long. You're just kind of sitting there like, okay, guys, fire. There we go. They fire. And now look at this, 37. Sipahi on the reinforcements. We got Reboldaquins coming out from both sides. Randy on both sides. But unfortunately, this one, he jumps off the top rope and he jumps out of the ring, because these Randys, well, they're not doing anything exciting today. What? Somebody jumped off the top rope onto the other guy. The other guy jumped off the top rope out of the ring. And now we've got the slow, painful death of a House of Lancaster player. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it at this stage. 40 minutes into this game, and Faye has done an incredible job. It all goes back to that very beginning where we got to witness the extensive fortifications, not really adding much to the whole idea, but the Pax Ottomana as well. It's still a really cool combo, and great to see her doing it, setting it up beautifully, the 3 town centers into the military schools as well, also providing her those units. But we leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed this game inside the mind of Faye. She's done a wonderful job today, and make sure you go check her out. I'll leave a link in the description, and of course, we'll catch you in the next one.